Hi, this is Marlon Nunes from Art Heroes. In this video, we're going to talk about making realistic eyes. So once you have all your materials already applied in the right folder, you're going to see the new eye material inside the material palette. So if you click and press, we're going to make sure that we fill the object already with material and the right color. So make sure you have mRGB selected. We're going to select not a pure white, but something a little bit darker. And we're going to go to color, fill object. The next thing that we're going to do is to create some iris. So we're going to select just RGB to make sure that we are just polypainting and we are not introducing new material information. And I'm going just to select a darker color just to make sure that I get the right size of the iris. Also make sure that you have the symmetry activated just by pressing the X on your keyboard. So right now I'm just going to apply a quick polypainting just to make the right size of the iris. And the next thing that I'm going to do is to make sure that I sharpen the line. So I'm going to keep painting on top just to make sure that it's sharp enough. One of the tricks to make a polypainted eyes is to follow the rule of the lower part of the iris. It should be painted in lighter colors and the upper part of the iris should be in darker colors. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a pure white and I'm going to start painting on the bottom just with a low intensity to make sure that I get some sense of depth. As you can tell, it already gives some depth to the iris, though it will need more work. I'm going to select now some greenish color and I'm going to start painting some lines here and there, probably a little bit darker. Okay. This is going to give a little bit more of sense of iris from what it's supposed to be. Okay, so we got some iris already in place. So we're going to create a quick render just to see how it looks. The first thing that we notice that we need to adjust some of the render settings. So we're going to create the same render settings that we created in the previous tutorial. So we are going to activate the SSS, go to PPR shadows. We're going to increase the angle to 21. And we're also to increase or raise to something around 24. And we are going to hit render again by pressing Shift R. The second thing that we are noticing is the eyes might be too light. So we are going to start playing with the ambient light right now. So we're going to also already set up the eye material on the left just to make sure that we can play with the settings later on. So I'm going to place the ambient light something around 1 for now, and I'm going to create another PPR. The third thing that we are noticing is that the specularity is not strong enough. So right now we're going to increase the specularity something around 20 for now. I'm going to make another render. This is already looking better. If you want to sharpen the line, there are two ways. Right now, my iris is just two spheres from Zbrush. As you can tell, the shape is not correct. It's just a sphere. So what I really recommend you, by activating the polyframe, we're going to mask just the iris area. And then we're going to smooth it out and extract it a little bit. What is going to happen now is that the specularity is going to go to the right spot. So the further you go, the more the specular is going to be in the right position. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. And we can tell that it's already looking a little bit better. Also, I feel like probably the curve, we can decrease it a little bit more. So it's looking a little bit sharper. And we're going to make another render. It's looking better. So there are two major settings that you need to know when you are creating eyes. And it's under environment. If you go through material tools, in environment you have two different settings. You have shadow intensity and also ambient occlusion intensity. So right now I have set it up something around 50 for shadow and ambient occlusion 100%. By 50 means that the shade, it doesn't get affected that much. Eyes by default, they cast less shadow and they receive less shadow. So if you have something around 100, what is going to happen is that all this area above is going to be darker, and we don't want that. That's what we want to set up, something around 50. The next thing is about the ambient occlusion. If you have something around 0, you're going to have a weird effect on the sides. So you need to make sure that you have 100 in ambient occlusion. We're going to make another render just to make sure that it's able. So you can tell with just some few parameters how easy it is to set up some realistic eyes inside of Zbrush. Okay guys, I hope you like it and enjoy it. Thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels and stay tuned for new content.